Let's take stock of energy with ATP Oil and Gas. This company goes in and develops drilling sites that are first discovered by some of the big integrated oil companies. We have Reese. He is the chief financial officer, and he's been meeting with investors today in New York on a mammoth project that is underway in the deepwater Gulf of Mexico. Al, good to have you with us. Thanks so much for coming in. Glad to finally have you in the studio.
Been on Bloomberg many times, and glad to finally be in your studio to see the curved escalator, which is really a cool thing.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you because you've been drilling in the deepwater Gulf of Mexico, Telemark, right? That's the name of the project.
Correct.
Tell me about what's going on Telemark, because a lot of people have been saying that the production volumes that are going to be coming out of that are going to surprise not only the street, but they're going to surprise you.
Yes. Quick update on that. The Telemark, the Titan, which is the $650 million unit, production unit, arrived on site middle of November. Mooring is almost complete, not quite. I learned yesterday that the first set of the top sides have already been installed. I know we don't have video on that. I know you have some video on some of the uprighting, but the uprighting was just absolutely perfect to watch when that thing just tilts over and then finally it just goes like that. And it will end up being roughly a 70-story building. The second set of the top sides, the utility module on a barge waiting for the go signal to be towed out, and it'll be installed weeks, days, whenever the weather and everything else gets ready.
So when do you start pumping? When do we start to see some of that Texas tea? You know?
Probably sometime the end of the first quarter, maybe March. That's what we're shooting for right now. You might cheat into February, but let's stick with March. If it slips to April or that, don't be mad at us. It's a case of you've got a $650 million unit. All of the pipelines that are necessary. Once you get it out of the ground, you don't just say, oh, good, it's here.
Right, you don't just put it onto a barge and float it back to land. You've got to pipe it in.
There are pipes all the way from that location all the way back into connect points on the shelf. We're in 4,000 feet of water. And keep in mind, it's got to ultimately end up on shore. So not only do we have to go over 100 miles from the location, we actually have to come up almost a full mile in getting it there. And we own a lot of the pipes between the unit and the interconnect points, roughly about $200-ish million tied up in just the pipes.
What kind of production do you think we can expect?
Once the production starts, it'll take 2, maybe 3 wells. So we've got 4 wells in conjunction with what we're going to be doing here. We should get to the 25,000 barrels a day equivalent on oil, probably 30-40 million a day on gas. Equivalency, we will approach 30,000 barrels a day. To put that in context, our current production volumes either side of about 10,000 barrels.
This is going to transform ATP.
Oh, yeah, we will. We will go, this will at least double our production, both rate as well as absolute volumes, as we begin to go into 2010. Oil prices over $70 today. If you look at oil next year, it's up about 6 or 7% from today. It's up to
about $76 somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's over 80.
Market.
Over 80 in 2011. Oil is up 15% in 2011 versus today. Gas, ExxonMobil, that transaction with XTO, which is primarily a gas company, gas is up 20% in 2011 versus today.
So let's say at these future prices, this is looking like a pretty profitable venture.
Oh yeah, this is a wonderful time to be doing what we're doing. Not only will we be doubling production, both rates as well as absolute volumes, we're going to be pricing into a volume area where you're looking at 80-ish above dollars in 2011. Right now, mid-70s and high 70s for next year.
Turn your attention now to what's going on in the UK,
yes.
North Sea, because I believe you've curtailed some of the production there, at least in the past, because you wanted to see what prices were going to do.
Correct.
Can you give me an update?
We are producing again, and not that we are ever totally off, but no, we're producing in the UK. Prices are beginning to come back. We have a 20% ownership and operate 2 projects over there, actually 3, but EDF is our partner. They have an 80% interest that they bought roughly a year ago, December of last year, in the Taurus project and the Winlock project. The other thing we're working on there is Cheviot, and Cheviot at this point is a little larger than Telemark in total reserves. We had great success at Telemark with our first well at Mirage. Found 3 times the sands that we were looking for in the original control well. We know we're going to have an increase at Telemark. It'll be interesting to find out, will Telemark surpass the Cheviot project?
All right, I want to thank you very much,
great
Al
being here.
Reese, Chief Financial Officer, ATP Oil and Gas. You're going to have to have pictures of whoever turns the wheel to actually get that oil flowing. I want to thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks,
Coming
Ben.
up, how